The following presentation is a gift from the team at Streamline Publishing, publishers of Fine Art Connoisseur, Plein Air Magazine, and weekly newsletters Fine Art Today, Realism Today, Plein Air Today, and American Watercolor, and events the Plein Air Convention and the Figurative Art Convention. We offer over 400 different art instruction tutorials and ultra high-quality video by the world's leading artists. If you like what you see, help us support our artists and our team with your purchase. Each video aired has a special discount code for today only in the comments section with a link to the video offered. And to see everything we do, or if you want to receive notice of new releases, new products, and new events for artists, simply click the other link, which says, "See everything we do." Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eric Rhodes, publisher of Fine Art Connoisseur and Plein Air magazines. There is an incredible legacy of portraiture and painting in China that actually was part of a cultural exchange between the Russians who had learned and taught portraiture and painting. Jove Wang was part of the generation that was taught from the great Russian and Chinese masters, and he will be teaching you expressive portraits today.
This section, we're going to do a portrait, and I want to explain to you my habits and also some of the method you want to know. So I'm going to share that with you. This model appears so strong to me. I think I'm going to be excited by what he presents to me. Firstly, I want to tell you about my palette, colors, and brushes. I use Old Holland titanium white, then the cat yellow light, cat yellow medium, yellow ochre, cat orange, cat red, alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, viridian, manganese blue. Subsequently, I will add some additional colors, such as permanent rose or magenta. These are the custom used colors for me. Sequence of the layout is from warm to cool colors. I had whole hair brushes, bright. I have filbert, size number 1, number 2. Those are for the details later on. And I will always start with the larger brushes. I do not use turpentine because turpentine is only for the purpose of cleaning my brushes. I also use medium, which is liquid, and I place the liquid at the lower left part closer to my shadow colors. When I mix the shadow colors, I add liquid always. You can see the lower left area of the palette is designated for shadow colors, and I will never have my warmer or lighter colors to be contaminated here. At the same time that you will find my brushes, when I use that for shadow colors, I will never then dip into white or the white colors, because very often that will create chalky and muddy result for your work later on. Then people ask me, what if I want to change the colors? Use the paper towel, squeeze them hard, and then you can possibly use turpentine or Gamsol to rinse very thoroughly and squeeze them dry, the brush hair. Only under this occasion, you can change this brush to use for your warm or cool colors. What I normally use is this set of brush when I designate that for shadow colors. I will not try to use in the warm colors. This is an important stage that you want to get yourself a good habit right in the beginning when you paint oil. A good habit is very hard for you to make good work. In my classes and workshop, that's lesson 1 for any new students coming to my class. I have just covered about my palette, brushes, how I use them, and layout of colors. Now I'm going to do the work, but beforehand I'm going to do drawing and color sketch to show you how. I have just quickly done a drawing sketch with vine charcoal what I have covered is its value, the rhythm, and in composition, as well as the whole first impression that I feel toward the model. Now, I'm going to start a color sketch.
好, this is a drawing sketch and color sketch.
The drawing sketch purpose is for your composition, rhythm, and its black, white, gray, or the value relationship. Color sketch is for the purpose of the value, the temperature, warm versus cool, and also its local skin tone. What the model has brought to me, my first impression upon him. Let me repeat what I have just done earlier for both sketches. For the drawing sketch, I've completed my composition, my value in black, white, gray, and also the rhythm. And no need to go through for details. For my color sketch, I am completing with the value, the temperature, as I said, the skin tone, and rhythm as well. I'm now going to proceed to my painting. I have just finished my drawing and color sketches. Now I'm going to start. You may ask me why I have such a toned canvas or a painted canvas. Well, some of the artists, they start with a toned canvas like with a earth tone or orange color and mix with turpentine. But I simply choose to use a canvas that I have some leftover from last time. I just put them on top of it. Therefore, it looks very multicolors. The purpose of my using such a toned, my own way of toned canvas is when I proceed to first layer, second layer, or even third layer, I might be still leave some of the toned canvas to show through, and sometimes that will achieve an effect of transparency. Today I use a linen canvas. You will find that this linen canvas is really interesting because the colors will stay there and some of the colors will seep into that. I will paint along the way. I will explain to you later. Now, let me start.
Okay. 刚刚我是
I have just finished my first stage, and what I have done, I was in search of the major rhythmic lines, and I tried to use the straight line and then in search of that and then indicate that first of all. Also, I pay attention very, very much to the size and its placement. Therefore, as I repeat that, the head would never be too big. After I finish quick drawing on the canvas, then I go ahead to make my first layer in dark. Take a look at my palette. The colors I use, they are ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, and burnt umber, as well as the liquid. Immediately I move on to the face, then I'm proceeding with the light area with the grays also. I use a different brush now to go to my gray in my white or gray in my light colors. The colors I use are orange, cat orange, viridian, and some of the blue or manganese blue. I repeat, I use these three colors plus the white, and I use a different brush. After I finish in the gray area in the face, then I move on to the orange, and then I use the pure orange colors, cat orange, to intensify the brightness of that color. I have concluded after I finished my first stage, I've reached my first feeling in spontaneity, including my composition, the rhythm, the value, warm and cool, and particularly the dynamic of that rhythm. I have achieved that. I'm quite happy. I am now going to proceed to my next stage. This stage, I'm going to do the refinements on the features, therefore I'm using smaller brushes.
What if you could paint like a master artist? What if you could study with one of the world's most successful Chinese masters, whose work occupies museums and some of the best art collections in the world? Now you can learn portrait painting and drawing with 2 exciting and all-new instructional videos with master artist Jove Wang. These exclusive videos give you the rare opportunity to learn from a world-renowned master artist as he demonstrates the powerful techniques he uses to bring any subject to life.
This is a drawing sketch and color sketch.
Color sketch is for the purpose of the value, the temperature, warm versus cool, and also its local skin tone.
In the first video, Painting Expressive Portraits, Jove Wang teaches you his method to capturing the raw emotion and humanity of your subject in oil. He'll show you how to establish value and rhythm in your composition, how to capture the unique energy and personality of your subject, the secret to using texture to add depth and emotion to your paintings, and how you can make dynamic painterly portraits that reflect the personality of the sitter, and so much more. In the second training video, Essential Drawing Skills, Jove teaches you how to draw vivid and lifelike portraits in pencil. You'll learn valuable insights about the anatomy of the face and head, how to find your perspective lines. Yes, many portrait artists don't even know the importance of perspective in drawing the face. This tip alone will change everything. How to use special tools to soften and adjust features as you move through each stage of your composition. Jove demonstrates how to use subtle expressive lines to bring facial expressions to life, how to search for movement and use straight lines to create a sense of rhythm in your work, and how to avoid the most common mistakes that both beginners and advanced artists make when drawing. For an artist, drawing is the critical foundation of everything you do. If you've always wanted to learn how to draw and paint captivating portraits that are both realistic and expressive, then these training videos were created especially for you. Painting Expressive Portraits and Essential Drawing Skills with Jove Wang are now available on DVD or digital download. Order yours today. Painting Expressive Portraits and Essential Drawing Skills with Jove Wang.
Well, that was Painting Expressive Portraits, and you can learn more about the full video from Jove Wang at lilyartvideo.com. Remember, there's a special discount code for you in the comments section today. Now let's get right to our interview with this great master. Sao Chan Hao, good morning. I'm Eric Rhodes, and today we're here with Jove Wang. And Jove, welcome.
早上好, good morning.
Good morning. Today's a little bit unique because we have a translator who is off camera. So we're going to ask the questions. Jove understands a lot of English and speaks some English, but we're going to have a translator just to make sure. So welcome to the translator. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Eric.
All right. So could you tell us the story of when you first started doing art?
我从小就是从5、6岁的时候
Ever since I was a child at the age of 5, 6,
在墙上
I'm so fond of painting and drawing from the wall, on the ground, or even at the park, and my family supports me.
没有什么纸张，就那个地上那个
I utilize the sticks, wooden sticks, and draw on the ground because we have a shortage of paper.
土上面可以画些什么图案。这个图案当我
Of course, that was child's craft, or sometimes I would say it's similar to witchcraft. It doesn't have a distinct shape, but it's rather abstract. And it's weird, but it's fun.
So there was a shortage of paper. Was this true for all people? Was your family poor? Your father worked in a factory, I remember you telling me.
My family, in fact, was privileged. My father is a plant manager, mother is a doctor, so we are endowed with certain richness that we are free in doing so, but paper, in fact, is something that is in shortage, that's a fact. But we are under the influence of Russian culture as well as art very, very sufficiently.
So were you part of the Cultural Revolution, or did that happen before you started in art?
I was about 6, 7, or 8 of age when we had Cultural Revolution. My father was victimized. Mother was strolling on the street, and I was one of the victims. Overnight, family ruined. My mother got crazy. I witnessed my mother at the age of 6. She was walking across the street, throwing the stones at my mother or me. It is such a drastic change in my life at that time. Factories, war, they have all these writings of criticism. It is such a memory that I can never erase.
So that must have been very painful. Was this because you were a privileged family and these were other Chinese that were throwing these stones?
Criticism as well as Cultural Revolution, we are categorized as those capitalism. The school, they let children go, no more schoolings, because whoever are knowledgeable, they are the victims. The professors and teachers, they are all bad guys. As of today, I always remember what my father told me. Whenever, wherever you are, you need to be knowledgeable. You need to pursue something of your dream in your life. Do not follow the tracks what other people are doing. In that environment, there is no chance for me to learn something apart from painting on my own. I painted on the cups,
锅碗瓢盆、
pots and pans in the house,
蔬菜、
even vegetables,
牛羊、
cows,
鸡等等这些东西。
and I painted them as subjects as well.
You painted on cows?
Oh no，
No, I didn't paint on them.
And so were you taken out of school at a young age?
那个时候
At that time,
And what age were you at that time?
七八岁，
around
就是文化大革命的时候。
6, 7, 8.
Americans don't really understand what people went through at that time and how that all happened.
由于政治上的这种
It's all the
Yeah.
political turmoil.
对政治上的一些事情。
You were painting at home on your own, and then you eventually found an art instructor, I think you said through someone who worked with your father.
我小的时候，
In my childhood, or I should say for my career, I'm all indebted to my initiating instructor. His name is Code Wang, and he, in the Chinese art society, I would say that he is one of the masters that has the Western or Russian art in him. Because my father is a plant manager for that factory that is collaborated by Russian government in northeastern province.
当时在工厂里做一个普通的工人和
He is a worker, but he is a painter as well. So my father is in charge of the plant,
当时那个中国的这个
and they need to make posters, poster signs as well
就是宣传文字
for propaganda, including words and paintings.
我们叫工会。
And we call that union. And the union needs a person at the studio as well. Therefore, my father set up a studio for that propaganda as well as a studio for him. I recall as of today that it's such a nice studio he has been built with. In my memory, it is exactly a master studio. It has a old rugged sofa and with draperies, and I believe that is some of the tools that he will need for painting. Therefore, I envision I would want to have a studio like that in my life.
我常常去
I often went there. He didn't allow me to watch, but I peeped through this one slit in the door to see what he is doing.
非常
And I was so admiring at him.
现在的记忆中都很棒。
My memory remains so fresh as of today. Of course, then I had some fringe benefit from him. He gave me some papers to paint and some paints, but he never taught me. He only told me,
那些碗啊，
Jove, bring this back home. Paint something from your subjects at home, like your pots and pans, or sofas, whatever you can.
他讲的也是对的，他
Now I understand.
并没有教我。
He didn't teach me with a purpose, because to a child at that age,
教不重要，
it's not important to teach, but it's an environment he provides and a kind of vision that he has given to me.
教育的一种感受。
As of today, I still, my sentiments still emerge in that feeling. Your idea, your concept, all this are, I think I'm inherited from him so immensely, and that's how I felt for my childhood.
Did you, when you built your studio in China or in America, did you use anything from your memory of his studio to create your own studio?
我刚刚
My Jilin studio in China, it's a dream come true for me.
买的地，
I bought the land,
我自己 build 的，
I built on my own.
符合我们东北文化
The studio is a mix between Chinese and Russian culture,
大家用的一个画术。
whereas in America it's just a studio.
You were inspired by Gauguin, and then you ended up getting into art school. When did that happen? How did you make that transition from being a little boy who was painting to getting into art school?
古刚 has fulfilled my dream or provide me a dream that I wish to become an artist. Therefore, in my youth, I graduated, I just was admitted to a Chinese art school.
My understanding is that the Chinese art school was very hard to get into. How did you get in? Was it a difficult process, or had they seen your art and welcomed you in?
当时考进吉林市业余美术学校，它是一个很专业性的。
I was trained at a very special arts high school in Jilin for both junior and high school, that we were trained heavily on sculpting and drawing on sculpture as well as painting. Therefore, I was admitted later on to the university. Then I graduated at the age of at the year of 1982, and then I started to work in a printing factory. It's a governmental one.
You went to a high school for artists, so that's very much like the Russian tradition, because they have an art school in Russia, in Moscow, that was from the age of 7 all the way through high school. Is it similar to what they have in China?
Yes, exactly. It's very restricted and very, very, very highly academic and very well trained. Yes, exactly. I have to paint every day around 12 to 15 hours a day in drawing.
Yeah, at the high school in Moscow that I visited, I watched 7-year-olds doing drawing from live nudes, and by the time they were at graduating age, 12th grade, I assume, they were incredible artists. They were better than most of the artists in America. Most of the best artists, they were better by that stage, and yet only a small percentage of them were accepted into the next level of school. Was that similar in your case?
We didn't start it at 7, but around the age of 13, we did started to draw on model.
So then next step was to get into the College of Art, is that correct?
对，我是1982年。
After the printing from a short training by the government, then I was later on admitted to the university. That same year, my father died, and it signified that there is a drastic change in the whole family. And because of that, I am determined that I want to be admitted to the best art school in China. Therefore, I strive my best in order to enter the art school. During daytime, I work in the printing firm, but at nighttime, I studied myself hard. So for the next 2 years, I studied so hard as well as working hard. So in 1984, I applied for 5 art schools in China. 5 best art schools I applied. I was all admitted. Then I chose the Chinese Academy of Fine Arts in Hangzhou. When I had an interview with them, they orally already said I was admitted. Of course, I was overwhelmed. That was 1984.
What was the process like in school? Did they take you through more of the same of what you did in the lower school? Did you do more cast drawing or copying of masters or drawing from life? What was the process, and how long were you in the school?
I was admitted in the Department of Design instead of the oil painting, because I knew oil painting is the hardest one to be admitted, so I applied for the design department. But very luckily, I was juried and getting the highest points for my drawing among all the students. I asked the head of department, why was I juried in? How did you make a decision that I got the highest score? He said, your drawing is different from others. Your drawing is so powerful. Nowadays, I am leading the workshop in drawing as well as painting. I have to make such conclusion that the earth, the water, the gray, the clay, all this make up me as of today. The dark earth of the northeast province and the cold weather, they are part formation of my personality. Just like how you try to understand the Russian art and Russian paintings. Russian art has its feature, it's so earthly, it's full of ground and full of the down to earth. I also believe that's part of the result why they chose me and put me as a highest score for the drawing.
You copied Russian paintings, Repin and Serkov and so on, is that correct?
很少.
Very rare.
Well, maybe it was, you were telling me your teacher was...
Yes.
My teacher practiced art by copying those Russian masters. He was juried in, admitted as the highest master's degree graduates. So, because of his copying and his mastering of the Russian works. At his younger age, I think his works are so great. Yes, I recall that.
Well, that inspired you to paint very much like the Russians paint. There were a lot of styles that you could have chosen, and I'm sure there were a lot of styles taught at the university. Yet, what is it about the Russian painting style that spoke to your heart?
You are exactly right. So much of inspiration he has given to me that is still, as of today, influenced me. As I said, I'm not a major for oil painter department, but they are all as a descending from Gauguin's art to me, as well as the Russian culture that is coming along, which is a legacy that gives me innovation for my own art as well as teaching in my workshop.
In the Russian tradition, part of the academic training was plein air painting. The Russians who attended the academy, the Serkov Institute or the Repin Institute, had to spend 3 months a year minimum painting plein air. Was that part of the training in China? I believe you told me you did plein air painting as a little boy.
当然，那我接着我讲一下这个 story， 就是讲一个故事。我在
Yes, certainly. I still remember while in my youth, I was with my friend. We were taking a small push-up box and we were painting in a very cold weather in the Songhua River.
可能画大概我们现在所谓的6×8呀，5×7，对。天气很冷，然后有时就自己包着一个馒头，我们东北。
And I was wearing very heavy cotton gloves, and we were doing something like each sketch for half to 1 hour, about the size of 6 by 8 inches.
自行车，然后还戴一个棉帽子，我们讲就像俄罗斯的那个戴。
And also wearing a Russian cotton hat.
有时画起来以后，我们这个鼻子啊，我们那个留下的这个我们讲鼻息啊，像冻了个冰棍似的冰，对。
Nostrils already with 2 icy icicles.
我们出来那个气在这个眉毛眼都那个刷白刷。
Frosted fronts and eyebrows.
但是还在那画，还在那。
And we continue painting with my friends. Lunch break with the Chinese bread that we brought each person, and then we continue. And we only take it as granted because there's no exception. We need the training.
所以我想
Particularly in the northeastern, very cold weather. Well, in my youth, I thought that was fun, but now I recall that is a very severe, very heavy training.
这是一个另外一个
And after class, each day I will bring my sketchbook to the train station. One book will be full when I come back home.
速写啊，那时候中国火车站
Particularly those waiting rooms in the train station, you can see people crowded and with sacks and very old clothes, as if you can see from the Russian paintings.
拉萨有
Every day I came back with a full sketch note.
在火车站
I now understand those trainings in my past, which is so significant to my art
这
today.
种努力，这种东西对我现
Those
在
are the price I paid, and I am harvesting now.
The Russians told me when I visited I've been to Russia a couple of times, they told me two things that they thought were very important in study. One is sketch all the time. Always have a sketch pad in your pocket and sketch at every minute of every day. Just constantly sketch to improve your drawing skills. The second thing they said is plein air painting is very important because even if you're a portrait artist, because it helps you see light and color and shape and value, and that it's essential for all artists to be able to go outdoors and paint. Do you believe that as well?
您相信这个吗？
Yes. Okay. So, what happened after school? You finished at the art school. What came next?
我大学毕业以后呢，因为我在大学学的是
Ever since of my graduation, I was assigned by the government to work in an international expo design.
我做了一些西班牙世界博览会、加勒比海世界博览会、国际东京
I led the design for interior of the Chinese Expo in Spain, Caribbean. However, I realized later on that my major in design and the works I did before really give me another influence in my artistic career because it provides me a modern concept.
So, after the expo, is that when you came to America?
Yeah. 1990年我来到了美国，移民了美国。
Yes, 1990, I immigrated to America.
What was that like? Was it difficult to leave China? And why did you decide to leave China and come to America?
喜欢自由，
I admire the freedom here.
喜欢
I wish to be on my own. I wish to be independent person. I have a dream and I wish that I can do something on my own. That's the main motive I left China. Because in China, you may not be able to do that. You need relations. You need to be able to make special contacts and able to talk to those people. I knew I was not able to. I wanted to do something on my own. That's why I moved to America.
Was it difficult to get out of China?
对我来讲还好。当时
Yes, it is very difficult.
yeah, 我当时是一种访问学者这种
I was granted a green card with a special talent
15 days 15
in 15 days.
And then you stayed.
yes.
Tell me about when you first landed in America. What was the experience like of seeing America and seeing American life compared to your life in China?
是很艰难。
Yes, it's very hard because I only have one friend here. And he asked me to stay with him.
当时
He was a hotel manager in Hollywood. He has 2 rooms there.
他给了我住一个房
He shared one for me.
我当时
But I
住在那，
was not aware what my future lies ahead of me.
我身上
I only have $40 in my pocket. My brain is all blank.
一片空
However, my friend,
美国的
America is a place where you can make your dream come true. And he says, I'm learning that. You have that capability, but I am not aware what. Fortunately, I was only at the age of 27,
后来
walking in the Hollywood
好莱坞的大道上，我穿个风衣
Boulevard
那时候大概是
with a wing coat.
我就
In October, I shed my tears. I said to myself, in 5 years, I'm going to stand up in this land. Very fortunately,
以前在洛杉矶
one other friend where he offered me a job, a post in a toy factory. I worked there for 2 months. I earned $1,600. Therefore, I left the motel room and moved to Alhambra. I left $800 to my friend. I was so appreciative as of today of his generosity to keep me and help me.
2个月后
Therefore, 2 years after I landed in America, I started a career as a portrait painter. $300 or $400 for a huge size of portrait. At least I was earning money with my own hands.
对我很珍惜那个工作。
I treasure that job.
You were painting portraits and making your own living. You must have felt completely free at that point. What came after that?
画了肖像以后，渐渐就认识了很多的朋友。
Yes, afterwards I was introduced to quite a few of the well-known people. So I did portraits for Cardinal Mahoney,
画过 Pete Wilson， 当时
Pete Wilson, then governor, as well as a few other congressmen in California.
加州的一些政府部门。
That was about 1993 to 94.
在1991年、92年、93年之前，
Therefore, in 1993, even though I paint portraits, but those are sparing work, so I need to have a decent job.
我去
I found a t-shirt painting job. They paid me 70 cents for painting on one t-shirt.
画100件，
I could paint 100 pieces a day.
努力地画。
I worked so hard. I never thought I was paid for 70 to work because I knew I'm going to be paid for $70 a day.
And the rest of the story is that you went into business for yourself in the t-shirt business, correct?
对，但是开工厂
Yes, I was having a factory for t-shirt painting, but I knew it would not be enough, and that's not my career.
我必须要
So I have decided that I want to do 10 works in 2 months.
10 paintings into
10 painting， 10件有。
Yes, 10 paintings. Therefore, I shut down my
这2个月，
t-shirt factory. I started a new career. In 2 months, I bought, with all my savings, I bought all the painting material, and I did 10 paintings in that 2 months. I asked myself, this is really a test on myself if I can have a chance for myself. Future is unknown, but I need to give myself a chance. So I did. Luck knocked at my door. A man came. He took all my 10 paintings, and he paid me $900 per piece.
Who was that man?
在洛杉矶
He is a person based in Los Angeles. Later on, he has his own jewelry shop. I went to see him. I still go to see him often. And we still recall this past history and memories. I was so fond of him that so appreciative to what he has done to me.
前几年他癌症走了。
Well, he launched your art career with your paintings. He gave you money for your 10 paintings or your 9 paintings. So that was a wonderful thing that he did.
Yes，
So what happened then? After you sold those 9 paintings, you're in the Pasadena area now. what started happening with your career?
后来就开了手绘 T 恤。
I used the money I earned from the t-shirt factory and those money, then I started with a gallery. In 1994, I joined Californian Art Club as a member. I came to know Peter and Elaine. Later on, I was awarded for the award for gold medal in Californian gold medal show in both 1987 and 1998 consecutively.
What did winning those awards do for your career?
不能说很大的改变。
It provides me a big opportunity. So many galleries, they invite me to become their members,
有些
as well as collectors begin to notice my work.
特别是99年拿到了 OPM。
In 1999, again, I was awarded Best of Show by Oil Painters America. So gradually, I think I'm on the track for my artistic career.
感谢
I was so appreciative. I remember his name as F. Sari.
John Osorio.
No John Asari。
His name is Sirius, something like Sirius F. Sari.
I love this artist's work. Yeah， 很喜欢他的作品。
You started teaching workshops. At what point?
I then started at 2001, established my own studio, and then I started workshop as well as studio classes in Alhambra, California.
One thing that you do that I think is quite unique, most workshops are about drawing or painting. You put them together. You do your 10-day workshop where you start with drawing and you do an intensive drawing course and then you go into painting. Talk to me about that.
开始
In the beginning, I established this workshop for students in the good idea, I think it is, that students can start to learn drawing, solidifying their foundation first, and then begin to paint. Gradually, I come to understand from my teaching that drawing is such an important missing link that I need to understand to help the student understand how they can understand drawing by means that they can gradually understand how to help them in painting. And drawing is not merely a material of painting with or drawing with charcoal or pencil. Instead, it is a whole package of learning. Many students approach me and ask, I've been drawing for my life and why still I cannot paint
我的素描这么好，
properly instead of the drawing? This is exactly a problem-solving issue for those artists that they know drawing, but they don't know how that can help the painting.
So what I think you're saying here is that you can't really paint without the foundation of drawing. Is that correct?
Theoretically, yes, but then here is the problem. For those experienced drawers, they cannot still paint properly. Why?
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 I am trained in the Russian
我想
artistic background. Therefore, to me, the light
俄罗斯的这个
for some people is a tool for you to find the drawing to help you for the structure and form. However, for me, the structure and form is a basic that you have to find it in order to build up your painting. So it's a different system.
So it's not based on finding the shadows first, which is oftentimes what much of drawing is about, is put in the shadows, block in the shadows first, and then block in the light. It's not that system.
我要先看到骨头。
You are right. I want to find the bones first.
The structure of the face.
对，就是内在的东西。
Yes, something inside.
I see. So you're going from the inside out. You start with the anatomy, and then you you fill out everything after the anatomy.
Exactly. You want to see what's inside. You have to admit one thing. Without the light, the structure exists. Why that is darkest dark there? It is not the result of light. It is an issue of the bone existence. And because of light, it gives the contrast and its shadow. This is a different mentality. Therefore, whether light exists or not, you are preoccupied with the conception that the bone is there. It's not because of the light it gives you the darkest dark for that part.
Do you require the students to study anatomy as part of your drawing program?
一定的。
Yes, of course.
And that's very much part of the Russian system as well, is they spend a tremendous amount of time in anatomy.
当然，
Yes, of course.
One question I'm always curious about is artists from the past. What artists inspire you? And if you had a chance to meet those artists, what would you ask them?
当然，
Yes,
最想见的，
that's Nikolai Fashion.
他给了我
Particularly in the recent years. Previously, I would say I like it, but now I am distilled in my sentiment.
我也带我的朋友和
My students to
去了4
his hometown Kazan 4 times. This past May, we were there in Kazan in Fashion Museum
In Russia.
yes
in Russia. 85 works displayed there for the pre-American era. He inspired me not on technique. He gave me a new understanding about art, about creativity, particularly in design.
What would you ask him if you could meet him in person?
哦，我不想
I wouldn't want to ask him because I'm so happy already seeing his works. He's so inspiring to me, his works.
And the best way to learn is to copy his works.
我觉得
It's so hard to copy his works, or I would say impossible to copy. That's why he is so great. In May, we arranged that we could copy in the museum, and we did. I copied 2 works.
那么
Somehow, I felt I didn't learn that way.
觉得没办法，
It's not possible for one just after copying, you want to paint in his way.
所以我们在
That's why
在他的博物馆
we made a critique. I was giving lectures there in the museum, and I explained, I asked them, why copying today, and what are we supposed to learn from that?
从他的作品里边，
I would say that his freedom from the bondage of classical understanding in design, and that so-called freedom is not random, because he's paying more attention to the rhythm and tension that one could create. Yet, there is no rule or principle that you can apply or you can find as tracks. His talent that is beyond everyone.
You believe Feshin is the greatest artist.
我不能这么
I dare not say that is my critique, but I would say, yes, I agree with you. Because there are so many great artists. However, I feel so much from his works.
Who do you really admire as a living artist today?
It's hard to say for me. So many artists, they are very strong in their own category, and each one is different from their talent as well. However, I'm drawn more to works with souls.
So, how do you read a painting? When you go to a museum and you look at a painting, what's the most important thing to you? And how do you define how to get the soul of a painting?
我通常
I think just like when I'm teaching my students, I always tell them there are 4 or 5 principles. 1, I want to find some uniqueness of design. Thirdly, the temperature, warm versus cool. 4th, the expression. Overall orchestration And as a result, whether the rhythm or the tension or the power have been achieved or not. I am very objective in this way. I'm very, very open-minded, so I'm not using my own sentiments to judge them. I try to respect every difference that one artist from others. I want to check on everyone, and then I will make a conclusion whether that work has the soul or not.
Why do you paint?
喜欢，它是我的生命。
It's my life.
It's my life.
It's like your breath. You can't live a day without it, right?
Yes.
How do you want to be remembered? When you're gone, what would you hope people say about your work?
2年前
2 years ago, I left the world for a very short moment, but I came back.
My heart.
I had a heart attack.
Oh, frightening.
实际上，
So I survived from that ordeal. Your question really, I would say, you read my mind. That whatever I do now for my art as well as for my art education, I never worry whether this prize
多少降了一下。
may be attacked from a price tag labeled to my work. But I want my works to show something or as a legacy. Of course, I'm not that great. I will strive my best. Like a painting or plein air or landscape. Afterwards, people will say, that's a nice landscape work. Or they will treasure it just like a trinket in the jewelry box. Same as my education. My job is to train you, and all of you wanted to become instructor to other people, convey my artistic message to everyone else. Then my job is done. Like this DVD we are shooting today, I want them to be useful for those people who view this. Give them inspiration, and I will be very happy.
Well, I'm honored that you would spend time with me and that you would do this with us. I think people will look at this 100 or 200 years from now to be able to see how you painted. And I'm honored that you would take the time and come to us and do this with us. Thank you very much.
很荣幸，况且对我的夸奖，也对我的期望，但是，我更谢谢你给我这么一个机会。
Likewise, I'm also honored by the chance you offer to me for this opportunity to make such a DVD shooting.
Thank you， 谢谢。
Thank you. Now that was Jove Wang and Painting Expressive Portraits, and you can learn about the full video at lilyartvideo.com. Remember, we have a special discount code for you in the comments section. Thank you for watching.
What if you could paint like a master artist? What if you could study with one of the world's most successful Chinese masters, whose work occupies museums and some of the best art collections in the world? Now you can learn portrait painting and drawing with 2 exciting and all-new instructional videos with master artist Jove Wang. These exclusive videos give you the rare opportunity to learn from a world-renowned master artist as he demonstrates the powerful techniques he uses to bring any subject to life.
This is a drawing sketch and color sketch.
Color sketch is for the purpose of the value, the temperature, warm versus cool, and also its local skin tone.
In the first video, Painting Expressive Portraits, Jove Wang teaches you his method to capturing the raw emotion and humanity of your subject in oil. He'll show you how to establish value and rhythm in your composition, how to capture the unique energy and personality of your subject, the secret to using texture to add depth and emotion to your paintings, and how you can make dynamic painterly portraits that reflect the personality of the sitter, and so much more. In the second training video, Essential Drawing Skills, Jove teaches you how to draw vivid and lifelike portraits in pencil. You'll learn valuable insights about the anatomy of the face and head, how to find your perspective lines. Yes, many portrait artists don't even know the importance of perspective in drawing the face. This tip alone will change everything. How to use special tools to soften and adjust features as you move through each stage of your composition. Jove demonstrates how to use subtle expressive lines to bring facial expressions to life, how to search for movement and use straight lines to create a sense of rhythm in your work, and how to avoid the most common mistakes that both beginners and advanced artists make when drawing. For an artist, drawing is the critical foundation of everything you do. If you've always wanted to learn how to draw and paint captivating portraits that are both realistic and expressive, then these training videos were created especially for you. Painting Expressive Portraits and Essential Drawing Skills with Jove Wang are now available on DVD or digital download. Order yours today. Painting Expressive Portraits and Essential Drawing Skills with Jove Wang.